Hey, let me know if you can hear me okay. Just gonna wait for a few people to come in here. See, hey Grant, hey Killer Combat X. I don't know why it wouldn't be okay. You can see it, and if you can hear me, then the stream is okay. Yeah, can you guys hear me okay? Your volume's a few notches low, whether it's the mic thing or not. Okay. Is that a little better? Is that a little better? Turn off the noise. Is that fine or too loud? Yeah, hopefully that's okay. Alright, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So, welcome to the stream. The agenda here is first half, finish off Pokemon Yellow, second half, ActRaiser, give or take halves. I could complete 4 in 20 minutes. Could very well take me an hour. So last time I tried this, we're at the tail end of the Pokemon Yellow run. Last time I tried this, I failed honorably, I think, but I think I should have what I need to finish the game, honestly. This game is not hard or anything. Yeah, let's dive right into it. Well, but before I do that, these things have always bothered me. I always felt like you should be able to buy candy and soda pop from them. Okay. Now that I got that out of my system, let's go face Lorelei. And when we're done with Pokemon, we'll go to ActRaiser. I've done ActRaiser on stream before, but I don't think I've done it with live commentary. Grant, so far my in-game time, I believe, is 22 hours. Oh, that's really bad. Normally, the AI favors doing rest, but right there I got a bad roll. Okay. That's better. And keep in mind, this is a shared file that me and Sam have had that has taken us almost 3 years to complete. Although I've played a lot of the second half of this run. Okay, there we go. That's more like it. Cloister. Don't really know how much damage. Nah. Oh well. I still have a few revives. I'm really surprised that was a KO. I thought Hitmonlee would be able to resist it, but I guess not. that's not good. Shazam! Jinx, this is where things are gonna get a little tricky. Just see how well Drill Peck does. Oh, okay, alright, that's not too bad. And Zapdos should be able to take down Lapras. A wild Nicki Minaj appeared. You know, for some reason I think Jinx has better lyrics than Nicki Minaj. Mr. Popo and Drag. You jokers. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Now I guess it's Omastar's time to shine. I mean, Ammonite, still an Ammonite. So we had lost our monetization, which really sucks, but hopefully these streams give us the watch time we need to get us back to where we need to be. I'm trying to make this an at least once a week affair. Ice Punch, I don't think that's gonna do well. Nope. Of course I get frozen. That's when I should shut up. Freezing in Generation 1 sucks. Well, in my luck, it's gonna freeze twice. Freezing in Generation 1 sucks because there's no way for you to thaw out. Unless you have a heal item. Or unless you get hit by a fire attack. Thunder Punch. Oh, there's your type advantage. Damn it. See, I thought it would be able to hang on because Hitmonchan does not get same type attack bonus. Nor does it have high special, but I guess the type advantage just worked in Hitmonchan's favor. So I'll have to just drill through all this. Trying to learn late screen. You know, I think I'll stick with agility. Because when your speed is higher in Generation 1, you will get a higher chance of critical hits. So I don't think raising special defense will really be helpful in this case. Let's see. Grant says Hitmonlee has Michelin Man's legs. He certainly does. Hopefully Slowbro can take out Machamp. I think light screen is better, but I forgot about the speed thing. Hey Bradley, good to see you. Light screen, you failed me yet again. Yes, it certainly has. Poor Michelin Man got his leg stolen by a Pokemon. Gotta wonder how advertising works in the world of Pokemon. Megatron with a sunburn. Okay. So far, I don't think this is too bad. Could be worse. But I'll try to save my revives for... Honestly, I think the only thing that is really gonna screw me up is the Dragonairs and the Dragonite. They have good move pools and good resistances. It don't do nothing. Didn't do nothing, you know. How is that super effective? That doesn't make any sense. You can't poison a poison Pokemon, idiot. No. Toxic. Agatha is one of the few opponents in this game who has withdraw programmed into her subroutines. But I think here it's done because the AI... This is my assumption. That the AI is thinking, well, I guess I can't hit this thing, I might as well switch out. I can't prove that. But another opponent that one of their subroutines is to withdraw, I think is a juggler in Koga's gym. Off the top of my head. I'm eating Tic Tacs in case anybody's wondering why I'm popping pills. Oh, Confusion. Confusion stinks. But I think I got the Psycho Blast there. Special Fell, that's very good. Substitute frustrates me because it makes me burn through PP. But, yeah, that was just really idiotic of the AI right there. Sponsored by TikTok. Trademark. Durant's always liked the Leech Life animation. It looks pretty freaky. I do like a lot of the animations and sound effects from these games. Slowbro's already out, of course. That was very silly. I made it up. Like, I'm saving Ice Beam for Lance. But Ice Beam, that sounds very cool. That sound effect. Just for lack of a better word, it sounds very video gamey. You see, even being high-leveled, if you do something idiotic, like try to do Dream Eater on me when I'm awake, gonna have a bad time. Yeah, right there, she withdrew it. By the way, I had said in a previous stream about how I would try to wear somebody down. I did some research. In Generation 1, the computer opponents have infinite PP. So that's not possible in Generation 1 to try to run somebody out of PP. Did you guys hear about Ivy being Soul Calibur 6? No, but, I mean, she's in, like, all the games, so yeah, there we go, Grant. More like eye candy. I think in Soul Calibur 2, one of Ivy's outfits was, gave her a presidential wig. I mean, that's just not too surprising to me. That would be like saying that, Kazuya or Heihachi is coming back to a Tekken game. It's like, alright. And Grant says, and she is extra thick. I mean, Killer Combat says she's extra thick. She only has armor on one arm. Bradley says she only has armor on one arm, so the arm is supposed to be super prepared for it. One of her costumes in 2 was the Captain Crunch outfit. That might be the presidential wigs I'm talking about. Yeah, one thing you can say about Namco is that they put a lot of thought into their characters' costumes. Like, Soul Calibur 3, to my memory, had some pretty extravagant outfits. I haven't played enough of 4 or 5 to really have an opinion on that. This Gengar is starting to wear me down. And Cervantes used to yell crush. There was a whole bunch of secret brand deals in that game, says Bradley. I mean, you never know. There was that Cool Spot game. And then, I know Mountain Dew sponsored some video game. Grant says, I remember that the gallery in Soul Calibur 2 was practically softcore porn. Wow, I wouldn't go that far, but what I vaguely remember, and I should know, because I own the game. But what from I remember, a lot of those ladies are barely wearing any clothing. I'm not sure if I would go that far. That Volvo. Okay. Try exiting Lance's room. You can, I mean, unless you wanted to see me do that. There is a way to make that not happen, but I don't remember the convoluted procedure to make it not happen. Let's wake up the sleeping Pokemon first. Oh, that's a catchy tune. That, no, it only works in battle. Crap. I just like the doors coming up. will just strictly use Nidoqueen, Hitmonlee, and Ammonite as healing shields. I don't know how we get from Pokemon to Soul Calibur. It missed, damn it. Please don't be a KO. That would suck. I mean, I respect your opinions, but nah. I own the special edition of Soul Calibur 3, which comes with a really neat demo disc. She is bustier than Taki, so there. Not falling for you guys' bait, sorry. Really hoping that doesn't KO. Okay. Nope. No. Does Lance's Dragonite still have barrier in yellow? I honestly don't remember. Off the top of my head, I remember that it has Thunder. I think it has Thunder and Blizzard, which gives it a surprising amount of coverage. Let's see what this does. Oh, the joys of Metronome. I'm getting the Injustice deal would put a wrench in even thinking about it. That would be my best guess as well, Grant. Goddamn rap. This attack used to be brutal. Crap. Slowbo should be... Yeah, okay. That's what we're talking about. If we got Thunder... Excuse me. If we got Thunderbolt, that would be a problem. Alright, Slowbro's gonna try to wash out Aerodactyl. Pew pew pew! So where do the stars come from? That's what I want to know. Like in the anime, when Starmie and Staryu did Swift, it shoot out star laser beams. But what happens when Aerodactyl does it? Does it just blast it out of its mouth? Okay, we're almost home free. Just to make sure Slowbro doesn't fall. I expect Zapdos to do moderate damage, but not go for the KO. Swift is magic. Can Zapdos do it? Slowbro was drinking Campbell's chicken... Slowbro was drinking Campbell's chicken and Star soup when fighting and it turned into Swift. But the problem is Aerodactyl used it, so that doesn't make any... Oh wow, got a critical hit, okay. worried about that thing. Man, going up 2 levels really did make the difference, I guess. Speaking of Campbell's, Paul Eiding did a reading of the Trump dossier that sounded especially Metal Gear-esque. It's funny how everything comes back to Metal Gear. Because I was organizing my footage earlier today, and I found the cutscene in Metal Gear Solid 2 when Raiden explains to Rose about how the Patriots could be changing history and how they control people's taste and what have you. And I still think that's all pretty topical stuff almost 17 years later. That game is exceptionally well written. Well, in terms of ideas and what have you, the prose is a little heavy-handed in that game. And by a little heavy-handed, I mean very heavy-handed. Okay. Max potion. And then I really think that's all I need. Grant says I'm still confused by why the president grabbed Raiden's balls. You know, my explanation might make even less sense, but here we go. I think he was trying to confirm if he was a man or a woman or not, because he looks pretty androgynous. Now, as to why somebody would just do that off the cuff, I don't know. Maybe they were just reveling in the fact that they were one of the first really mainstream LGBTQ games. I'll probably screw that up. I'm not sure if that was a Bill Clinton jab. I don't think Hideo Kojima knew enough about American politics to be that nuanced. Bradley calls that the Goku method. Killer Combat wants to see Spawn versus Raiden. I mean, it could happen. Todd McFarlane will do anything for money. He'll put Spawn in anything, as long as you cover the licensing fee. Looking forward to seeing you, John. Yeah, I'm really not too worried here. His team is well balanced, but so is mine. Can he put Spawn in Pokemon Yellow? You know, if he really wanted to, he would have found a way to retroactively change a almost 20-year-old video game. So looking forward to seeing you, Jack. Speaking of things that sound like MGS2. I don't understand it. I think in Red and Blue, Sabrina's Alakazam, for some reason, favors using Recover. And because of the lack of PP the AI opponents have, you run into the problem of having a Pokemon that is constantly responding its HP. Oh, I'm worried that it might knock out Nidoqueen, but let's see. Oh, looks ugly. Why did I do that? That was one of the lines the Bobby just said, and I read it and saw this as boy. I think Solidus's voice actor died sometime last year. Shit, Alakazam, damn it. And I was just sorry to hear about that. Really love that performance. Alright, Zapdos should be able to drill peck him. About to use Executor. Gonna drill dozer through him. Apparently Executor is a top tier threat in the first generation of games. About to use Magneton. Yeah, he had cancer. Apparently Ed Blaylock died from cancer. Yeah, I mean, those things can happen at any age, unfortunately. I hate to get heavy in playing freaking Pokemon. One of my peers from high school died a few months ago, and it was totally unexpected. He had some kind of rare liver condition that got diagnosed way too late. He didn't even show any signs of being sick. It's something a few of my buddies from high school are still reeling over. So it can happen at any time. You know, it's terrifying to think about, but it's a reality. Alright. Let's see if we can bring back Nido Queen. Sheesh, I'm sorry to hear about that, man. You know, there's nothing anybody could do about it. Let's see what Fissure does. This is frustrating. The reason why I taught Nidoqueen Fissure is because Fissure favors Pokemon that are slower, but I've never been able to land it during this run. Oh, she's gone. She's gone. No. Oh, well. Yeah, guys, don't worry about it. I didn't really know the guy too well. It's just, I mean, it was shocking and upsetting to hear about. Yeah, I don't want to dwell on this too much. Full restore. Didn't see that coming. I probably should have. Stop screeching at me. Come on, KO, KO, KO. Oh. And I think that's gonna be a KO for Zapdos. Oh, no. Okay. About to use Cloyster. The problem is, Grant, I think that my Zapdos and Slowbro are the only Pokemon that can really put up a fight now. Probably only do that if I need to make a situation where I need to stall more. But I think I'm getting closer to winning. Ooh, that's bad. Alright, down goes Cloyster. Final opponent is Flareon. And just after all that, I'm just not too concerned. Critical hit, alright, well. That does it. No, it's fair. Zapdos spray looks like Big Bird going through a punk phase. Screw you, Gary. I mean, I think it could have been better, but yeah, thank you. Doing this runs made me realize that this game is a little bit harder than I gave it credit for. It's still a Pokemon game, so it's still easy. Screw Bobby, too. If my dad wasn't a few feet behind me, I would do the Professor Oak voice, but I don't want him to think I'm any crazier than I am already. So we did Pokemon Yellow without Pikachu, the ultimate blasphemy. Although I guess not nearly as blasphemous as playing ActRaiser. God dang it, Bobby. Yeah, Sam named him that because Sam likes King of the Hill. I'm gonna go find Missing now. Killer Combat. The glitch to get Missing No in this game is a little bit more complicated than it is in Red and Blue, and it can really fuck up the game. When you run into it, it makes it crash. It's not like Red and Blue where all it does is screw up your Hall of Fame. So I'd rather not do that. Alright, let's check out the credits. You know, I think not a lot of people made this game. I don't think that's something that people really appreciate. That it's time to go fuck up. I'd really rather not. I don't think people appreciate the fact that this game was definitely a labor of love. I can't remember the exact numbers of the staff. It had to have been less than 20 people. Less than 20 people working on this diligently for 6 years. You know, it's just pretty extraordinary, the whole thing. How are they able to get everything together? Yeah, it's the old man glitch doesn't work in Pokemon Yellow because the coast of Cinnabar Island isn't programmed to have any encounter data on it. You have to find some form of memory corruption or the trainer fly glitch. Which I don't even know if I can do the trainer fly glitch at this point in the game. I'd have to start over. But yeah, that's Pokemon Yellow. It's a harder version of a classic. It's a nice twist on a classic. I really wish... The entire point of me and Sam sharing this cartridge was so that we could finish it together. And I wish we could have done it together. But he doesn't seem to care. So there's not much else left to do, honestly. So I'm going to change games. I'm thinking either Super Mario All Stars or ActRaiser. I think I might be leaning a little bit more towards ActRaiser. No Mewtwo today. I just don't really see the point. That's the thing. Try a Fire Emblem game. Killer Combat, the only Fire Emblem game I have is on my Wii U. Here's something you might get a kick out of. I found the English soundtrack to Med Bull 34 done by the musician himself. Awesome. Let's race some X. Yeah, Killer Combat. I only have Fire Emblem 7 on my Wii U. And I'm only doing Super Famicom today, so I could do ActRaiser. I could do Fire Emblem another time. Okay, we'll move on to ActRaiser. So just get ready to refresh the stream, please. No, Fire Emblem on the GBA is the best. No, I made up my mind. But we can do that some other time. But the Wii U is in another room, and I'm only doing Super Famicom today. So just hang tight and refresh that stream while I change game cartridges. Alright, hopefully you can hear me okay. Fuck the Wii U. Killer Combat, I don't think you're understanding me. I don't physically own Fire Emblem 7. I have the Wii U Virtual Console version. That's my only way of owning it. So if I were to play it, I would have to move it into the area where I stream. And that just wasn't on my agenda today. I'm trying to, when I stream, not change between consoles. When I've changed between consoles in the past on stream, that's caused issues of bottlenecking. And I don't want that to happen. I want to have a nice, clean stream. Okay, so this is ActRaiser. This was developed by Quintet and published by Enix. This is one of the earliest third-party titles to come out for the Super Famicom. I've streamed this before, but I think this is the first time I'm actually doing live commentary on it. As you can see, because it says special here, that means that I've completed the game. But I'll start a new file for you guys, because this is one of those games that I could play anytime. This is a game where we play as a god who has woken up from a long rest and has to reclaim his land. It's a part 2D platform game, part SimCity type game. And this is actually the first game ever made by Quintet. So it just shows you that they were good from the beginning, I'd say. Never played this game. I would call ActRaiser a cult title because it sold, I think it sold almost 1 million units, but it was never quite a bestseller. It was definitely acclaimed, but it was never re-released. Last time I streamed this, I played it hard. Really want to make up for that. So the 2D action segments are very... I get a big Castlevania vibe from this. And then when you beat them, that purifies the land, and then you go into the SimCity type mode. This is called Act Mode, and when the segments that are like SimCity are called Sim Mode. Going the wrong way. What is the main character's name? Bradley, in Japan, he's actually the Judeo-Christian god. In the US version, Nintendo wouldn't allow them to identify him as that, so he's simply called the Master. Or if you're asking what I wrote in Japanese, I don't know because I wasn't paying attention. And I'm not fluent in Japanese. But we can call him Thor. That's cool. I don't mind him being Thor. Normally when I run this game in English, I call him Disaster. I want more segments where we name things. Well, when I stream Super NES Classic next, we'll see about that. More like Boar. You can do better than that. Can I make the jump? And speaking of which, the villain of this game in Japan he's flat out Satan, but in the US he's called Tanzara. So that's funny. Just a heads up, I just want to see how far I can get in the next hour. I don't plan on saving over this because this is my complete file with the special mode is the boss, not the boss rush. You play every act mode in the game, but it's very difficult, and the fact that I have it cleared is kind of a point of pride for me. So I really don't want to overrate that. Oh, time up. Damn it. I should have paid attention to the game, not the chat. Sort of like how the Megazord in Jew Ranger is actually a god. Kind of. The whole thing in Jew Ranger is weird. That the mecha in those series are actually gods, dinosaur gods, but that's just weird to me. Oh, that's terrible. That's weird to me because they're clearly mechanical. That's just strange. Killer Combat says, is this game hard? I'd say it's marginally difficult. The special mode, professional mode, is pretty rough. But I'd say it's pretty middle of the road in terms of difficulty. I'm doing very bad right now, however. This is really ugly. That sucked. One life left, come on. This is a game that, if I were in charge of the Super NES Classic, it would have been on here. But I don't make these decisions. Yeah, we got it. And then, there we go. Alright, Act 1 is cleared. So then it moves on to Sim mode. And in Sim mode, it plays like an extremely simplified Sim City. There are certain tasks that you complete in Sim mode that allow you to unlock the next Act mode. Also, the stats of your civilization affect your character's performance in the action stages. So it's really neat the way this game alternates between genres. This game will be perfect on Continue. Don't know if you ever saw their stuff on YouTube. A little bit. I don't follow them as much as you do. I see a lot of them in your favorites on YouTube. So here I take control of the cherub. I can shoot down the monsters that are going to attack my civilization, and I get to guide the direction of my civilization. It's just bizarre hearing local references on YouTube for me. What do you mean local references? Yeah, let's make this message speed faster. There we go. References to local commercials and stores. Yeah, like what? Newscaster, the like. Are Continue based in Delaware? So here I control the Angel's movement, so it's still kind of like an action game, even though it's a simulation type game. And the enemies can hurt me, but if my health goes to 0, I lose the ability to shoot arrows. I'm going to want to protect them from attacking my civilization, because I'm trying to build up my civilization in order to A, unlock the next action stage, and B, increase my character stats. They're based in Philly, but talk about action news on location. So I'm curious, does anybody have any experiences with ActRaiser? Or are my streams your only exposure to it? Your streams? Oh, okay. I made a video about this game for a college presentation a few months back. I might try to modify that and make it a Software Agents video. I think I saw it on Cinemasco years ago, but that's it. I know that Screw Attack made a video about it. And that's where I really felt vindicated, because people were talking about it. I was generally a pretty big fan of games that came out of Enix. Fortunately, they don't exist anymore. And Enix never saw a lot of success in North America. Something I had learned a few months back is that eventually they couldn't publish their own games in North America anymore. I think they did it through Eidos. Because I know that them and Taito shut down in North America 1995, I believe. It's just a shame. It's a tough market. I think Square had similar financial trouble in North America, because for instance, Final Fantasy VII, Square didn't publish that internationally. That was done by Sony. And I think up until even the 2001s that they, I know that some printings of Final Fantasy X were done through Electronic Arts, of all companies. It just bums me out when companies I like don't do very well. I shouldn't feel guilty about it, but it's just, it just is kind of a bummer. Other games Quintet made for Enix, if you've ever heard of Soul Blazer, which reuses this game's interface and a lot of sound effects from it verbatim. They also made Illusion of Gaia, Terranigma, and Robotrek are other games they made. All really neat stuff. Uh-oh. This fire. Let's see what I can do about that. Don't have enough magic power for that. Yeah, these people are gonna have to suffer. Okay. Okay. There we go. Believe it or not, part of a strategy of this game will be eventually to destroy your own crops, because when they get ruined, they will come back better the next time around. But the reason why I saved those people is that the population affects my level. You can see the population in the top right hand corner. And I'm at level 2 now. Excellent. Just to let you know, the spots where the monsters come out of, I can't attack it directly, only the people can. How, sort of like how some places use suit as fertilizer. Yeah, ActRaiser is a great agriculture simulator. It was Farming Simulator 1990, let me tell you. Grant, you made a funny comment, I think sometime in December, where you said that only perverted old men like cherubs like the angel here. That was funny and gross. But mostly gross. Okay, gonna destroy these crops here. That was a waste. Yeah, anytime I defeat one of the crows or the blue dragon, I will regain magic power. I was always weirded out. Grant says I was always weirded out by how a music box that was some great aunts or something, my family had naked children, but it's okay to draw them anatomically correct just because they have wings. I don't know how to respond to that. So what I did might have seemed cruel, but it actually raised the population by 10. And when they rebuild the crops, the quality of them is going to come back better. After 23 years, I still don't know how to respond to it. Fair enough. Now these people are bitching somewhere. Okay. Are the sim sections any harder without the translated dialogue? Grant, the thing is, I played this game so much that it's all muscle memory for me, more or less. So I'm gonna go back to that later when my level increases, but right now I can do Area 2, Blood Pool. Damn, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, because if you didn't notice, I made it so that the text was at the fastest speed, so I could just blast through it. Now, I like how this game is supposed to be in a biblical setting, and yet we're fighting gnomes here, and lizard men. It's just, I don't remember that in the Bible. And I was reading the Bible last week, so if I missed the book, let me know. Wait, did the sin stuff just increase your health? That's pretty cool. Yeah, because the thing is, when your society performs well, when you have a good population, that affects your stats. When you progress in the sim segments, it allows you to progress further in the action segments and makes your character stats better. It makes your health better, for one. And now it's time for the second boss, the Manticore. Well, not necessarily shit. Not necessarily the second boss, because this game can be played in a non-linear order. That I'm known for. The book Lizardicus, the most controversial book of the Bible. So that's why it became part of the Apocrypha. And damn it, I just missed that one up. Oh well. Oh, that's bad. The pattern I'm doing here, shit, is an attempt to manipulate the Manticore's AI, but I have to do it consistently. Noam Chomsky. You troublemaker. Oh, that's terrible. Superintendent Chomsky. Those steamed hams memes never stop. They really don't. It's not good, it's not good. I just can't believe some people were able to get so much mileage out of barely 2 minute scene. I mean, granted, it's one of the funniest moments in the entire show, but seriously, damn, I'm probably not gonna win here. And he got me. The Metal Gear Solid 1 and the one where they sentence mix the DK rap to say the whole thing are amazing. There's this one that kills me where they have Skinner yawn to the vocal part of the Pink Floyd song Great Gig in the Sky. That was amazing. I'm dead. Okay. These gnome sons of bitches. Okay. I think I remember the pattern now. By the way, the lizard men make me think of Harvey Birdman, if anybody knows what I'm talking about. I jumped right into that, damn it. That ass. I always know what you're talking about when Harvey Birdman's involved. There's an episode where Lizard Man has to testify, and his first name, last name, and occupation is Lizard Man, and Lizard Man, and I still think that's really funny. Hey, good going, Bill. That was the pilot, okay. Okay, we're on the same page here. Okay. You obviously know the show better than me. That was the Johnny Quest custody case, if I'm not mistaken. The Una Boo Boo one was good too. Also, when Dynamite is killed, I think the Dynamite one was the. It was a finale, and it was a parody of cliffhanger type storytelling. So what I did is that the people, this land here is called Fillmore, or as it's called in Japan, Filmoa, and the people of certain lands develop tools. The one for Fillmore is their bridges. So I took an offering and got their bridge so that the people can make it to the other side and defeat the monsters in the lair over here where my angel is. And I can use that society skill in other segments of the game. Once I clear this part, I can get to Act 2 of Fillmore. I think I just need to level up a little bit more to beat the Manicore boss. I know the pattern, but I really just don't have enough health, I don't think. And Blue Falcon sounding like the creepy old cold guy in Resident Evil 4 was great. If I remember correctly, they gave him a Hispanic accent for no reason. I mean, for Harvey Birdman, one of the laugh out loud moments in the series for me is the episode where Fred Flintstone is a Tony Soprano like mafioso, and then in court the prosecutor says, "Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're the mobbish Stone Age family from the Villa of Bedrock." I forget the rest, but the conclusion was from the Villa of Bedrock, and then the conclusion is he's gonna do a lot of jail time. That's outstanding. That's what I love about Adult Swim when they're finding their voice. When they were finding their voice. Stuff like that in Space Ghost Coast to Coast makes fun of how silly Hanna-Barbera cartoons were. I love that, and I think that Adult Swim got to a point where it relied too much on stoner humor, rather than it being like the big kids version of Cartoon Network. Because a lot of the Harvey Birdman episodes made fun of theories that us dumb preteens would make up about Hanna-Barbera cartoons. We watched them on Cartoon Network, and then we got to see a twist on them, and that was fun. Now they make shows like Mr. Pickles, which I think is gross and weird. Observe the people. Observe the people. The only good original on Adult Swim, to me at least, is Eric Andre, because at least he knows how to do weird stoner comedy. Do you mean at the moment? Is that what you're trying to get at? Okay, and now we get to Fillmore Act 2. This Mode 7 effect was really cool to me when I was younger. I guess you don't care for Rick and Morty. If you're gonna say that. That's one of the few shows on TV I actually watch at the moment. hate Rick and Morty. Oh well. I will probably check out Toonami because I'm just curious about how they're gonna censor the Outlaw Star episode when it airs. But I have so many recordings that I really just don't have any time to watch. It's I want to say it's frustrating, but it really isn't. I barely watch TV anymore. I finally stopped streaming through my computer. Grant, you and I had talked about recent episodes of The X-Files. I feel that a lot of the current ones seem to just be making a whole joke out of the show. And it's not like I think The X-Files is high art, but it feels like everything has to be a silly tongue-in-cheek thing. There was a recent episode about the Mandela effect that I kind of liked it, but at the same time I felt it made a caricature out of the show. There's just something weird hearing Mulder say the Mandela effect has been an internet meme for almost a decade. That's just that's a really weird thing to say. I keep dying. See, Grant says that's the reason why I don't like most Marvel movies. Feels like the only way it knows how to make a joke is to take you out of the movie and mock its own material. I think that's part of a problem I have with the Avengers looking back at it. Something that's frustrating to me about the Avengers is that Loki's defeat ultimately winds up being a punchline to a gag. I find that frustrating. Thor is not high art by any means, nor is Thor the Dark World, but the climax of that movie is not taken as a joke. That or the second one has zero confidence in its own writing and material. What has zero confidence in its own writing and material? The Marvel films, it's afraid of people making cracks as characters, so they make the jokes first, but they are never valid criticisms or good jokes to begin with. I mean, I guess you could say that that's more or less the marketing of Ant-Man. I do think I will see Black Panther, though. Well, I'll say this much about Black Panther. You've seen the plot of the movie before, but I think the way they put it together was well done. I really do. And I did enjoy Homecoming a lot. Oh, this is awful. Oh, no, no, no. No, oh. Oh, this is anticlimactic. Yeah, I'm just playing really lousy here. Need to be at level 4. I guess I'll try Bloodpool one more time, and if it doesn't pan out, I'll just stop and go back to work on the Injustice video that I keep stalling on. Well, you know, I think those are somewhat valid criticisms. I feel like Marvel has much better control over their own Marvel Studios films. You know, the X-Men stuff is handled separately. Than freaking DC, though. Jesus. DC does not have their act together. Honestly, it really frustrates me that I think it just seems like they they can only seem to do Batman correctly, because I'm a comic book fan in general. I don't want to see bad superhero movies. Obviously, what's good and bad can be subjective, but I wish DC would have their animated films be the mainstream ones. But that Harley film was great. She had 4 butt crack. I don't know. Okay. Somebody in my comics discussion group, there's a scene where she eats tacos and farts in the Batmobile. I pirated that movie. I'll admit that. I'm not gonna pay money for that bullshit. and somebody in a comics discussion group I'm in said that that was Bruce Timm. I was gonna say Tim Burton. That was Bruce Timm who recorded those farts, and it was him farting at all the good work he did for DC Animated. That's amazing. Does it, Bruce say, smells like justice? I want the Hostelgado guy to say that. Well, not everyone, but they're generally good, even the bad ones. I mean, they've had a few clunkers, but everybody has a few clunkers. I actually rewatched Batman vs Superman on Google Hangout with some friends from high school recently, and I don't know how I gave that movie it's dumb, but I kind of like it pass originally. There's some scenes that are so much worse than I remember. Maybe me not being slightly drunk had something to do with that. I had 2 beers when I saw Batman vs Superman. Actually, I didn't think Wonder Woman was that bad, honestly. The climax got a little silly, but, you know, whatever. Were you watching the expanded version? Yeah, I watched the extended version the second time. Well, we're going into some nerdy shit now. I'm just gonna stop here. So my friend Kyle, who I absorb a lot of my comic book knowledge from him, he pointed out to me that one of the CIA agents who dies early in the movie, that's supposed to be Jimmy Olsen, and he's an unnamed extra. And Zack Snyder's explanation for doing that is because he was having fun with the character. So, we have this inside joke that when there's something befuddling about Batman versus Superman, that it's Zack Snyder having fun with the character. He said, I bet in Zack Snyder's name, Wally the Handicap Man is Wally West, because that's him having fun with the character. It's an in-joke for sure. I'm not sure how well it would translate with you guys. Or, Mercy Graves is played by some Japanese actress in the movie, and she dies in the scene when Congress blows up. And then now Kyle was just saying that was Zack Snyder having fun with the character. I'm sorry, I'm the only one laughing right now. They killed off Jimmy Olsen pretty quickly in Injustice 2. You mean Injustice as well, not Injustice number 2. I hope. Yeah, Bradley, I don't know if you saw Wonder Woman. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was... Oh, it sucks. I thought it was fun. Not a fine movie, but it was fine, is what I mean. Oh, yeah, okay. I thought you didn't get out to the movies very much, so I was surprised. I mean, stupid shit that I like. I was happy that Ares had his armor from George Perez's run, because those are the Wonder Woman comics I'm most familiar with. In theaters, no less. This is just becoming idiotic. You gotta be kidding me. Well, guys, I might have to call it quits. This is just very discouraging. I'm kind of bummed out. I think I should be doing a lot better. I have done better. I don't know why I'm stinking so much. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna call it a night. This is a bummer. Keep an eye out for Injustice. I'm sorry it's taking longer than you thought, but hopefully it will at least be decent when it's done. And I'll stream again either next Tuesday or Wednesday. Not sure when. That will be Xbox. Xbox One. That's all I really have to say for now. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to